What are you doing, Kev? You Tim Tebow or something?
I'm bending the knee, bitch. Ah! Welcome to Pain of Thrones, episode 8. I'm your host, Kevin Panetta. You can follow me on Twitter at PanettaSexyTime. These are my co-hosts. Who the fuck is you?
I be Dr. Awesome. You can follow me at Dr. Awesome.
And who is you, Yakult?
I am the Commodore. Follow me at the Commodore.
Pat buys a beer.
I do buy the beer.
So this week, the show started with Bron, still alive. You guys surprised Bron and Jamie survived?
I wasn't surprised. I was expecting them to live, however they got fished out of there. I just wasn't sure if they were gonna survive and be right in front of Daenerys' dragon, or Bron was gonna drag him out somewhere else. Bron dragged him out somewhere else.
I thought Bron was gonna die. I was wrong.
They were lucky that they ended on that side of the river. They didn't have to bend their knee.
I don't think that was a luck. I think Bron dragged his ass through the river. That's why they were coughing up water afterwards. They weren't going to get right back out where they fucking fell in.
There
was a dragon there.
Not surprised at all that he got saved. Not surprised at all either one of them were alive, and that was the first thing we saw this week. What I am surprised of was how shallow the water seemed to be that they were coming out of.
To the Mariana Trench.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it looked like he was really sinking at the end of last episode, and really there was like.
Well, you think someone would look for the body as well, too, Like, you gotta check and see if they're dead. With all that armor.
Yeah, why didn't they just, go in? Okay, he dove in. She's got a dragon. We've seen those things swim underwater before.
Well, it's because you know what kind of armor Jamie wears, right? Plot armor.
Wolverine.
How about Bron saying to Jamie, I saw you standing between that cunt and the dragon, and you went for the kill. No one kills you until I get my castle.
Made me giggle a bit.
Yeah,
I don't think it was anything too important or special or whatever. Just kind of funny.
And I don't know why I made Bron sound like a leprechaun there. That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad, but that's okay.
What'd you say about Bron earlier? He wouldn't do what for Tyrion, but he...
yeah, some random meme. He wouldn't fight the mountain for Tyrion, but he dives in front of a fucking dragon for Jaime. Come on.
Yeah. Jumpin', them boys are the...
So the next scene, I call Ashy Dothraki. Tyrion looking over all the dead bodies and seeing all the chaos and harm that's caused. He looked pretty upset about it, and he had the sad music playing. It reminded me of the sad Hulk music from the...
I don't know what he's expecting, though. I mean, I get him and Varys have that whole, you need to stop her from turning into her father thing, but they're at war. I mean, they're going to have to fight in the war. She's got dragons, she's going to use them. This was all to be expected. I mean, what the fuck?
What did she say? Bend the knee or die to the remaining Lannisters and Tarleys. What do you guys think about what happened after that?
I thought it was pretty cool. Props for Dickon. Cheers for Dickon here for
Dickon!
Not being a pussy and willing to get burned next to his father. Do you support Daenerys' decision, or do you think she should have found some way to let them live?
I support her decision.
She's taking too much into account what Lady Olenna said to her, except for everything Lady Olenna ever has done is reckless, and it led her to her death.
You're jumping all over the place right
I
now.
know, I'm sorry.
I support her decision.
I support her decision as well.
I would like to change Drogon's name to Ivan Dragon. I think that'd be pretty cool. You can have a spin-off for the Dragons fight as Rocky characters.
I don't agree with Dickon Tarley's decision to die with his father. That was stupid. You have my soul.
And my bow.
And my axe.
And my Mjolnir! The next scene is, will the real Jaime Lannister please stand up?
I'm not the real Jaime Lannister.
Please stand up.
I'm not the real Jaime Lannister.
Jaime Lannister. Jaime Lannister.
This scene, Jaime confronts Cersei, and he tells her about Olenna's confession
Queen
about
of
Joffrey,
Thorns.
and she knew about it already. She let it go down. So what do you guys think about this?
She didn't know about that. She knew about you're thinking
the meeting.
The episode,
yeah.
meeting with Tyrion.
The meeting with Tyrion.
Seriously, what's got to be going through her head when she finds that out? She keeps hating Tyrion. Almost more than their dad did, and she keeps finding out finally, bit by bit, that no, he wasn't actually responsible for this.
I don't think that she believes Olenna. A dying woman will say anything. That's why she asked whether or not she told him that after she took the poison. Because a dying woman would say anything.
She might be trying to lie to herself, but I think deep down she knows it's true at this point.
Yeah, I think she knows, and I think she lost all humanity. I think she just doesn't care. It's just, you're with me or against me, and I don't give a fuck about anything else. The past is over.
Didn't care too much when Tommen committed suicide. I mean,
that was the final
that was
straw.
That was her last boy.
Tyrion said that about her before. Like, her one big virtue was she actually cared about her
most angry
kids,
about
she doesn't anymore.
that Tyrion sent Marcella to Dorne, and that's how she died. I think she, like she said, Marcella was her favorite child. So she's pissed. She's definitely pissed about Tyrion doing that to Marcella.
The next scene, Jon Snow pets Drogon. Just like this. He's all like, "Hey, Drogon, you're gonna get me laid by Daenerys." What'd you guys think of that?
I wanted to call this episode
Beautiful.
something about like fan service or fan theory fan service, because this episode had a whole shit ton of talking up or bringing up random things that people have been bantering about all line, and either confirming things or putting things to rest. And we'll get to some of them in a bit, but one big thing was what's going to happen with Jon meeting a dragon. Is he going to be all cool with him because that shows he's really a Targaryen or whatever the hell? Well, we finally got that scene. There we go. He pet his goddamn nose.
Well, just the fuck you eyes Daenerys was giving up, so he's petting it.
That's a big thing. Again, other little bits in this episode also, but everyone's always thinking Jon and Daenerys are going to end up together. But we've always been thinking that because of things we know. When they finally met, clash of strong personalities, a little bit of chemistry here and there, but for the most part, they're still butting heads a little bit. This is the first episode...
Stop.
My foot's falling asleep.
Don't care. It's the first episode where it really seems like she's starting, if not to fall for him, but she's starting to see some real value in him. Before this, she's the queen and she's in charge and that's all that's going through her head. She's starting to see that at the very least, he's got some of the same values he does, that he's trying to do good, that he's willing to face death head on and do shit himself rather than just give orders.
Just like she wanted to do.
Exactly.
Jordan, the Explorer!
He's back and AIDS-free. What'd you guys think of that?
It's beautiful.
Neat little scene. It's nice seeing Daenerys genuinely happy to see him back. I mean, got a quick little moment of thinking he might come out of the friend zone for a little bit. I think more later in the episode they had the little close. Oh, don't go. I can't believe you're going off again. You just got back. He's not coming out of the friend zone, but it seemed like he might.
I think we need the cheers for the friend zone, but not like an emphatic one, like a sad one for like it's a funeral to a friend,
Fallen friend.
Fallen people in the friend zone. I apologize. Hope you all can get out of the friend zones one day. It's worse than it's probably what hell is. It's just a bunch of guys following around pretty girls that.
Who are you talking to?
God.
Alright, after that we all flew back to the Citadel, where we see the Archmaesters all kind of huddled together in their boys club, kind of discussing Bran's Raven and kind of just scoffing it off as fairy tale. All the while we know Sam knows, that the White Walkers are real. Sam knows Bran Burrito, and he just balls up in front of the Archmaesters.
He's doing everything he could to show some damn balls.
Exactly.
But still, when he had that whole, do I sense a heavier proposal thing here, and he gave his little plan, his plan didn't give them any sort of evidence or proof or anything. It was just, here's what I want us to do, and, well, who are you to say that? You're a scribe right now.
Right.
Fuck you. And he did.
I saw the scribe. Opened up my eyes. I saw the scribe.
Alright, so the big brain trust meeting in Dragonstone, they gotta bring the dead to Cersei. Jon Snow's gotten word. He finds out his fucking siblings are alive, which, still fucking huge. I mean, as big as Arya going back to Winterfell for the first time since she left. But yeah, they got a big plan. Bring the dead to Cersei, prove to people this is fucking real, and maybe we can end this all without bloodshed. I mean, I don't know what their next moves are after that, but they got a first step.
With learning about Bran being alive, does that give Jon doubts that he should be King of the North? Because, Bran is the remaining legitimate Stark's son.
It might, but from the beginning, he said it plainly. He didn't ask to be king of the North. They asked him to be king of the North. If they said we want someone else to be king, they said they want Sansa to rule.
Well,
he probably wouldn't care too much.
How about Sansa not sticking up for Jon right now?
She's weak. She's dull-minded, just like her mother. I've been saying this before. Robb, Rickon, and Sansa
They're
are
much more Southern kids. We know that. They're
exactly.
It's not a
They're
secret
just
thing.
like Edmure. He's a dumbass too. But
I'm not going to slight Sansa
turn.
for not sticking up for Jon because Arya again, kind of like you said, Arya's got the much more straightforward view. These guys are talking smack. You should make an example of them, whatever. Sansa's learned to play politics a bit, for good or bad, with her interaction with Littlefinger. She's learned you can't just chop heads off and blunt your way through everything. You actually do need to play the game a little bit. And she didn't not stick up for Jon. She just didn't emphatically, smack down the bitches that were talking ill on him.
Who do you feel this week was very charming?
Yes, Jake. Who?
The most charming was Jorah.
Jorah.
He was very welcoming and very polite to the residents of Dragonstone.
I'd fuck him.
Everybody takes a sip of Jorah.
Yes.
Most charming.
To Jorah. Very charming fellow. Yes.
AIDS free.
Go for it.
Please, sir, can I have some wine?
It's not even a goddamn line, you idiot.
I didn't see the movie.
They made a book out of that.
They did?
I didn't see the
Holy
book.
fuck. Didn't they make a play too?
Yeah.
I really can't move my foot at all. Like, I have to get up.
Stand up.
I have to.
Jake's taking a shit again, everybody.
So how about the scene when Tyrion's the secret meeting between Tyrion and Jaime? I like more than the actual little chat themselves. I mean, it's nice that they're seeing each other and they're talking and however they're involved with each other. Frankly, I just like how Bronn is the one that set it up.
Do you think that's going to get him killed?
Get Bronn killed? I don't think so.
I think he's too smart to let him kill him for that. Even if someone actually does try and do it, I think he'd smell it coming and run away first. But I just think it's neat that I don't know how Tyrion got in contact with him or whoever got in contact with him, but it does show that, they're at least they're not at each other's throats just because they're on opposite sides. I mean, we kind of knew that, but it's nice to actually fucking see it.
It's a good scene. Good to see the passion out of Tyrion. Good to see the unsurety out of Jaime. But able to kind of his brother was able to kind of joke him into, a little bit of a détente.
A little bit. He's still pissed that he killed his dad. I mean,
Still definitely pissed.
I don't think he loved his dad all that much either. I mean, they all thought he was a ruthless cunt, but still, he let Tyrion free, and then Tyrion killed his dad. That's what it was. It wasn't so much that he killed him; it was kind of Jaime's fault.
Did you like Tyrion's line where he said something? I'm paraphrasing. Dad didn't hate me because of anything I've ever done. He hated me because I was a monster.
It's a good line, but we've heard it before. I like that Jaime kind of interrupted him, like, this isn't what you fucking brought me here for. Say your piece.
Well, how good's the writing on this show? That's like relatable to that's relatable to anybody that feels like an outcast. If you wake up and you're gay, your parents hate you because of that.
I didn't choose to be born this way.
Yeah, I didn't choose to be black. My parents hated me because of that.
I didn't choose to wear black clothes and have long gay hair and all that shit. It's just...
Yeah,
he hates me for it, though.
I didn't choose to be a gangster, but here I am.
Gangster life chose me.
Gangster life chose me.
Okay. I think that goes nicely into, Jaime talking to Cersei afterwards, though. That was a big scene, too. I mean, it's all back and forth, but what's the big elephant in the room for that scene is Cersei's fucking pregnant? What do you think of that?
Unfortunately, now that she's pregnant, I think she really is, but she might not be. You never know what she's saying. But now that I think Jaime's starting to know that to get away, we're going to lose. I don't want to be with... But he loves her so much. And now he's going to have a kid with her out in the open.
Gives him a much stronger reason to fight. Mm-hmm. I got two thoughts on that. One is, what's the chances she's lying to him? Because, I mean, that's the kind of thing she might do just to keep him going. It's filming.
So what happened next?
Gendry.
He
was the man. He's my MVP for this week. How about you guys?
Mike?
Me? I was going to say, loved Gendry this episode. However, if I have to go MVP, I'm going to go Jon Snow. charmed the pants off me this week. He was
a very charming guy.
Owned it with Daenerys. Kept bringing it. Kept saying what needed to be said. Kept doing what needed to be done. Took command this episode. Jon Snow is my MVP.
It's hard for me to pick an MVP this episode. This was a great episode for MVPs. So many people had a lot of awesome moments, and I was thinking of it in the middle, like, damn, I don't know
Sam could have been an MVP.
A lot of anyone who picks anyone, I don't think there's too many options. I'd say that was not a good choice. But when it comes down to it, I'm gonna have to agree with Jake. I think Gendry was my MVP this episode. Every time he talked, every time he did something, I liked him more. Everyone was great this episode, but he shone a little brighter to me.
Sam's like the Harry Potter of Game of Thrones.
Sam is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a wizard. He's a wizard.
No, he just
he's got glasses.
He has that one.
He's got his guard on his head.
He has that one important person that helps him get through the movie. That's I don't really trust you at first, but now I kind of trust you.
So who is your MVP, Kevin?
I really, 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 really wanted to go with Davos. He had a lot of great scenes.
He was charming.
He was very charming.
Very charming.
Davos is the most charming this season.
Yeah, he's the most charming.
For the season, yes.
Jorah's rapey charming, but Davos is charming. But I'm gonna go.
See it.
I'm gonna go Jon Snow.
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Yeah, I think
Tough
I should have went Davos. I'm gonna regret in the morning. I regret I didn't take Bronn last week, but Jon had a pretty strong episode. I think I'm not going to ask you guys unless you guys disagree. Eunuch MVP, Varys. Is that a sweep? Clean sweep?
Yeah,
clean sweep.
Weren't even in it.
Uncontested sweep.
Yeah, so Varys gets 4 votes this week. And let's go right into the least valuable players too. We'll start with Mike and work our way around.
My least valuable player this week, I gotta go Cersei. I'm gonna say she maybe did one thing that was out of the ordinary, and that was she knew about the meeting between Bronn and Tyrion.
Catballs.
Jake, your LVP?
My LVP would be I don't even know.
There's too many MVPs this episode.
Sansa by far. Absolutely Sansa.
I see it. You just really fucking hate Sansa. Every week we see more than that. You said the same thing every single week. It's she's not a Stark. She's so much like her mother. She's boring, Tully, blah, blah, blah. I agree with it, but man, you stress it every damn week. You just really don't like her. I just keep getting him. I think
Arya has to kill her and Littlefinger.
Oh, wait. Here comes my Littlefinger shitting and grin of the week.
I think I'm going to agree with Mike. Cersei. I kind of see Sansa for this episode, but same kind of deal. Cersei was around for a few moments, but they were just the low parts of the episode. And we already talked about the whole weird little mini Deus Ex Machina of her being pregnant. Kev?
It's 2 and 2 again. Sansa. I wanted to go with Sam just because I'm a hater of Sam.
Sam was great this episode, though.
But he actually manned up and left. He said
You could have gone with Bronn. The working scene was cool, but that's all the fuck he did.
Nah, Bronn never's gonna be LVP. Bronn's my. If I was ever to use the N word with the A and not the ER, Bronn would be my N word. So next thing we learned that Davos has crabs. It's an aphrodisiac too. He knows how to get the girls horny. He knows it's like the Viagra apparently
for the charming guy. That was the height of his charm right there. So he's talking to those guards.
He gave those guards wood.
Got fermented crab. You're gonna poke a hole in your chainmail there.
With them balls.
Get down. So, what do you guys think? What happened with Gendry there? What happened?
Bad for a bit.
Gendry?
Yeah, I still say Gendry every time.
Oh man.
Gendry, whatever you want to call him.
Oh, I was giggling like a schoolboy when he brought out that hammer.
Again, like I said, every time he said or did anything, I just liked him more this episode. Him meeting Jon Snow, going against what Davos said, just hey! I'm the bastard son of the guy who was friends with your dad. We should be tight, man.
That scene was great. They hit it off just like Ned and Rob.
You're leaner than he is. You're shorter.
Doesn't Game of Thrones doesn't Game of Thrones make you wish your parents had sex out of wedlock and you were a bastard?
We could all be bastards and be badass and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was born out of wedlock.
Yeah, all
Yay!
right. Jake is
To
the
Jake.
bastard
Jake.
MVP of the
Yeah,
episode.
bastard
All
Jake.
right.
Next we're taking back to the Citadel, where we have Gilly and Sam. Sam's trying to get his scribing work done,
And the 15,000 shits.
and Gilly is just in his ear, just with all this useless knowledge. And Sam's just like, "Come on, Gilly, I'm trying to get my work done. I don't give a shit about this maester's 15,000 shits."
That was a funny scene. I like.
That was a funny scene. I liked it. I always like Gilly. I like Sam.
It's an important scene though, because I was talking about all the fan theories and shit. This is a big one, and I think it might have gone over a bunch of people's heads. Gilly brings up she's just reading out of the book, and Sam's tuning her out because his IQ was like, her IQ was her age, and his IQ was like
His shoe size.
twice her weight or something. But she mentions, oh yes, and this master, what's an annulment? Oh, apparently he did an annulment for some guy named Ragar, and then he did a secret marriage for them in Dorne to another woman. Okay, that's a huge scene, and again, this is a big thing people have been talking about for months and years and whatever. The question is, Rhaegar and Lyanna. All we ever heard was he kidnapped her, he raped her, and that's what started Robert's Rebellion. And, okay, it turns out Jon Snow was actually their kid. Okay, big fan theory, found out at the end of last season. Fine, great, whatever. But the question remained, did he actually kidnap her, or were they actually in love? Just because they had a kid didn't mean they were actually in love. He could have still kidnapped her and raped her and all that stuff. And so, big fucking question. And now we've got the answer. No. Rhaegar did, in fact, marry Lyanna Stark, which he's allowed to do as a Targaryen and have multiple wives and blah, blah, blah. Which makes Jon Snow the official, in every sense of the word, heir to the Seven Kingdoms, more than Daenerys is.
More than Bran?
More than
Bran Burrito?
Yeah,
More than Bran Burrito. To the King of the North!
Daenerys' big thing, King of the North, here we go. There. Daenerys' big thing is, this is my right. I mean, besides that, she's got dragons, she can fucking take it, right? Right of conquest, but it's her right, she's the son of the king, blah, blah, blah. This is, I'm the one who's supposed to be queen. No, technically, it's Jon. More than her. Eventually, she's gonna find that out, and that's big fucking news. And we know now, even if the other characters don't know that. Whatever, that's just a huge fucking scene, and they just kind of slipped it in there, hoping most of the fans would catch it.
Yeah, I hope that Jon Snow becomes the king, and then Freddie Mercury becomes the queen. Who do you think's the better lurker? Littlefinger lurking on Arya lurking on Littlefinger, or Chris Brown lurking on Rihanna's Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to go Littlefinger as the better lurker in this case, because he lurked Arya directly into his trap.
It's always the big question of who knows the other one's lurking also. I mean, we were watching Arya sneak around, and does Littlefinger know she's spying on him? I mean, she's a good spy now, but he's Littlefinger. Well, then we see him spying on her at the end.
I think it
does
proved...
she know he was spying on her there? Maybe she knows. Maybe
I think it proved that Littlefinger knew about her spying even in season 1.
Do you think... And then, did we talk about Arya and Sansa? Arya, not trusting her, kind of
yeah,
saying
them bitching each other out a little bit.
Yeah, well, she, Arya went all white girl and went passive aggressive on Sansa, and she's like, just say what you fucking mean. And then she kind of said, what did she say that, Sansa's thinking but won't say? What was that?
That if Jon Snow doesn't come back, Sansa's going to need the support of these lords, and that's why she's playing politics. In Arya's shoes, she's thinking that she's assuming Jon would come back, and so she would put these guys in their places no matter what. She's assuming Sansa, whether she wants to admit it or not, she's playing the higher game, which means what if Jon doesn't come back?
Do you think Sansa's rooting for Jon not to come back? So
I don't think she's rooting for it, but I think Arya was spot on with her analysis, but I'm not slighting Sansa for playing politics in a way that seemed called for in the first place. I mean...
I think Arya in Winterfell is very vital to the survival of House Stark.
What's something that
Arya's gonna kill a White too, I think.
Maybe?
Nah, not. Well, she might later. But right now that Jon Snow and all them are going to get a White's head, it's gonna be one of them first. Now Arya. What did you guys think that Gendry's going and Tormund's going?
I like the Fellowship of the White. I don't know what you call it.
The Fellowship of the White is definitely not a good term.
White Fellowship,
especially right now.
Especially right now.
I think he had Lord of the Rings stuck in his head.
delete.
We're not deleting that. We're gonna come up with a better term than the Fellowship of the Void.
Fellowship of the something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fellowship of the Bastards?
Nice, magnificent seven, dirty dozen kind of group of guys there.
How many are there? Wait.
We gotta count
Jon
that.
Snow, Gendry, Jorah, Thoros, Hound.
Sir Davos?
Alright, I gotta
He's
tell-
not going there with
He's
him.
not
now.
going, yeah.
Straight out of bastards. We got 2 bastards and some outcasts.
Now we're going to rate this episode from 1 to 10. Let me tell you about our final thoughts.
That's the best he says something yet. And you still didn't. Whatever. You might want to keep that in regardless. I don't
I like
fucking
it,
care.
I like it.
All right. Let's go with...
They're like, fuck Kev, he just edits it and shit. He don't need to be in frame. He's like, I'm moving on. Go send him to the fucking
I'm ready.
motherfuckers.
Let's go.
Alright. Mike, you're first because you're the newbie. Doc, you're awesome.
Dr. Awesome rates this episode a very solid 7. It was, very enjoyable. Not much action, but definitely.
I mean, not much action. Sam and Gilly banged like the entire way back on that wagon at the
That's
end.
true.
We had 2 mage,
They might have
two
shown
main
it,
characters
but-
died too, Dickon and Tarley.
Yeah.
True. I was gonna say, but it was an excellent setup episode. Definitely a 7 out of 10.
Commodore?
I'd give it... That's what I said before. 7 out of 10. It was really good. I'm glad it wasn't as great, to be honest with you.
You're glad it wasn't great?
Leads to a better setup. More anticipation
Yeah,
for the next
exactly.
They're
week.
getting near the end. We got 2 episodes left. Next episode is the episode 9 of the season. I mean, it's a short season, so the final one's probably going to be really huge, but yeah, think of it. Next episode is the penultimate episode.
Of this half season.
Damn straight.
I give this episode a 7.3 out of 10. I was going to give it a 7.6, but I didn't think it was a 7.6, and it reminded me of the Sixers when I was saying that. I thought this episode was a tad boring. A lot of cool stuff happened, but I wasn't as enthralled throughout as I was on the other episodes of this season.
I think the finale for Game of Thrones of this season will be as good as the finale for season 4 of The Wire.
I'll be disappointed in the ending of the show unless the last episode of the season is just a 2-hour episode of Jon and Daenerys having sex and it's full penetration.
Full penetration.
Maybe the last 45 minutes of that 2-hour episode
The
should just be
whole
full
episode,
penetration.
but-
Yeah.
Full penetration.
Yeah, if the show doesn't end that way, I feel like the whole
got
HBO
gypped.
messed up again. It's like fading to black, like The Sopranos. All right, Pat, what's your?
Well, I had a number to give it, but now since we already had 2 ties of the night, I got to give it a 7.3 as well. So we
Great
tie
things come
2
in
and 2
threes.
again. Nah, really, honestly, I give it a solid 7 as well. I usually stick to the round numbers, and I feel almost bad doing that because I think people think anything less than like an 8 means you didn't really like it that much. But no, I thought this episode was amazing. It just, like they said, it wasn't the most exciting episode. It wasn't the most fast-paced episode. It didn't end with dragons burning people up on a battlefield like some of the other episodes. But it was a great fucking episode. So, and a lot of conversation.
Excellent cinematography.
Yeah, just a lot of conversation, a lot of back and forth. This is the Quentin Tarantino episode. Just lots of chatter. But it was all great chatter. All the setup was great. All the characters were great. All the interaction was amazing, and I loved it.
Daenerys is growing on me.
You just like seeing her get wet from like you can see the expression in her face and like I don't know, it's like her eyes are speaking to you that her
That
she's
she's not-
sliding off the saddle
that she's
because
being,
she's slipping, she's getting wet and she's slipping
But
off.
she was like 80% cunt, 20% like awesome. Now it's like 60-40. So I'm starting to like that. Like, just if you want to date me, just don't nag me. And she seems like a nagger. But I'm not saying she would ever date me. She'd probably date Mike. He's got a tuna can for a cock. Alright. I hope you enjoyed this week. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Peace watch.
Allah Akbar.
Peace watch.
Rahim Allah Akbar.
Don't play.